Every journey to minimalism starts with one crucial step. Stop buying shit you don't need. But this is easier said than done. I remember when I was a shopaholic, I used to watch videos like this. But the tips in these videos, they were not helpful at all. They said you should do budgeting, know your values, but those are tips that work for people who are rational. I am not rational. I am a highly emotional person, and talking to my rational self won't fix any problem for me. So in today's video, I'll show you how I managed to stop the constant urge to buy, but in a bulletproof version that goes beyond pro and con lists. If you tend to be a perfectionist like I used to be, I have a great tip. List your things and try to create systems. The goal here is to rechannel your perfectionist energy into creating the perfect systems and amounts for your life. For example, I recently shared my 33 beauty products and curated routines. And this number and routines are so beautifully thought through, I wouldn't want to destroy it by shopping mindlessly. With perfectionism traits, it can be very easy to overshop, always searching for this perfect item. But if you channel that energy into organizing what you already own, it can actually become empowering instead of overwhelming. So focus on the area you tend to overshop most and start systemizing that area. Next, you need to get rid of your credit card. I intentionally didn't have one while I was healing. Instead, I had to ask my mom to borrow hers as a grown-up adult. Trust me, you'll think 10 times before buying something if it means explaining your reasons to someone else. And even better, my mom sometimes had an item or knew a solution for something that I wanted. And if you really need a credit card, you can use a prepaid credit card that you can top up. Because this extra step of topping it up, it creates a delay that gives you time to rethink your purchase. As a side note, if you now think you cannot get rid of it because you are in debt, then you are the first one who should get rid of it. And because you can't actually get rid of it, just give it to your mom or husband and you're good to go. Similar to this is that instead of doing a no-buy month, that sounds absolutely ridiculous to someone who has shopping problems, just do a no online shopping month. This will already help you out a lot. Teach Me Your Addiction is a method used in therapy, and I found it absolutely life-changing. To do it, you need a person you trust and you are willing to open up. And if you don't have someone like that, you can do it with a journal. You have to answer these 5 following questions, but you have to be as precise as possible with your answers. Question number 1. When and how does the urge begin? Write down the exact situations, feelings, and thoughts. These are your triggers. For example, today I felt the urge to shop when I came home from work feeling overwhelmed and stressed. My boss gave me extra tasks and I felt overwhelmed. Question number 2. What does the process look like? Describe each step from the first thought of shopping to making the purchase. For example, I take out my phone and start browsing my favorite online stores. I scroll through sales, then I look at new arrivals. I feel a thrill when I find a good deal and I add it to the cart. I then edit my cart, remove some items, only to then find more items. And this cycle goes on until I feel like my cart is only filled with the most amazing deals. Question number 3. What am I feeling during the shopping experience? Is it excitement? Is it a relief or relaxation? For example, I feel excited and distracted from my worries. I feel a sense of control as I decide what to add to my cart. For a few minutes, I don't think about anything else. The goal here is to understand which emotions drive you towards shopping. Question number 4. When and why does the urge end? This question I found especially interesting because after all, every addiction behavior ends at one point, right? Try to identify what naturally brings the shopping urge to a halt. Do you feel tired? Do you run out of money, or do you simply feel satisfied? For example, the urge starts to fade when I realize how much is in my cart. I begin to feel guilty about spending money or worry about maxing out my credit card. The last question, number 5. What are the consequences of my actions? Reflect on how you feel after making the purchase. Do you feel guilt, or is it relief, satisfaction, regret? For example, after shopping, I feel a mix of regret and shame. I don't really need most of the things I bought, and now I feel bad about spending money I wanted to save. I wish I had spent my time doing something productive instead. Now, the goal with this exercise is not to analyze this behavior once and then making an action plan and never do that again. That would be rational. And remember, we are not rational when it comes to this. The goal here is just to write it down every time you did it. I actually ended up at this point where I was shopping, and while I was shopping, I had to start giggling and talking to myself like, oh wow, so the task your boss gave you made you feeling so bad. How about we start being angry with him not having any management skills instead of hurting yourself with spending the hard-earned money? Now let's go back to some easy, quick tips that may also help you stop buying shit. In real life, quitting people that have a bad influence on you isn't always easy. But on social media, it's just one button and they're gone. So please just go and unfollow those toxic influencers that make you buy stuff. It may feel like ending a real friendship because of the parasocial bond you've built. It feels like you know them, but they don't know you. And most often, they don't care about you unless you're contributing to their revenue. And then here is how I managed to actually change my real life social circle. I find it often easier to add value than to cut things out. What do I mean by that? Seek out spaces that uplift you. I mean things like meditation circles, hiking groups, sports groups, cooking meetups, things like that really recharge your spirit. For me, all women's spaces have this special energy that I find invaluable. When you add these positive activities, the toxic relationships that can lead to overconsumption naturally fade into the background. As you start to heal, you can begin integrating the next tips into your life. If you want to buy something new, try testing alternatives you already have first. Here are a few examples from my own life. Sock curls instead of a fancy no-heat waver tool, a t-shirt as a wrist rest, or a large bag or a towel as a makeshift yoga mat. This has 3 big advantages. First, it's instant, faster than online shopping because the problem is solved right away. Second, you learn more about your needs. So if you do end up buying something, it is the perfect fit. And third, you get to see over days or weeks if you really need it. The next tip is to find fun ways to take a break. For me, any negative behavior mostly comes when I'm tired or I'm overwhelmed. So I had to find fun ways to take a break that actually made me feel refreshed afterwards instead of guilty. Here is what worked for me. Make a to-do list with super easy tasks. 5 minutes of doing the laundry, 2 pages of reading a book, 50 sit-ups. It sounds so boring, but trust me, this is life-changing because it's so easy you can almost not doing it, and it means it brings momentum towards the life you actually want to build. And then last but not least, stop using quality as your excuse. I used to think that because something is good quality, it is a good find. That's not true if you don't use it. Trust me, good quality is often more marketing and branding than actually good quality. I work in this field and I know how this works. Quality and premium are just stupid buzzwords that make you buy it. That's it with the tips, but one thing is left. Don't forget to actually try the exercise Teach Me Your Addiction. Even if your shopping habits are only slightly unhealthy, it's a really fun way to learn more about you and optimize your life. Here is the list of questions and examples so you can screenshot it and start doing it today. I talk to you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out. Bye!